Today I'm using the Aphex Vintage Aural Exciter made by Waves, and it sounds really good on what I'm doing here. I was recreating Jacques Causeway by Boards of Canada from the Tomorrow's Harvest album, and I couldn't quite get the right sound on it. It sounded like they had kind of a parody of that overblown, overdriven sound from the late 70s, 1979. And this Aural Exciter works really well for that type of vintage sound. So my strategy on this was to reduce the high end down and also a little bit of the low end. And then this vintage exciter creates a fake high end, so to speak, in that, well, it's creating harmonic information that is not in the original. And when it creates that extra harmonic information, it has a very vintage sound to it. So let me show you what I mean. Let me take off my EQ and take off the Aphex Exciter. And this is the original track. And then I used an EQ. Of course, that sounds too modern sounding and a little too digital, too thin. So first I used the EQ to knock off a little low end, a little high end, and it does start to sound more like tape. But now you can really hear that the high end's gone. So then I'll turn on this vintage Aural Exciter, and it's going to create a fake high end that's not present in the original material. And when it does, you'll hear how it sounds. It has this overblown late 70s sound. Now, another maybe pricier option is this Neutron Exciter. It gives you a lot more settings and all the overdriven sound that you would want. A good default on it is this crunchy lead. I'll let you hear the Neutron. It's also good because it is multi-band, and you can have different settings for each band. If you have sometimes when you overdrive stuff, you'll get a really bad sound just in one area of it, and so you'll be able to reduce that if that's the case. So let me let you hear it without and with. Turn it on. See, it did just about the same thing. It created that extra harmonic information that gave it that great sound. Okay, if you don't have the funds for those VSTs, don't worry, because I made a little sample-based instrument here. And so it has the sample in it of the Moog Model D, as well as that delay on there. And so within the sample is the effect. The EQ is in there, which I balanced out, and I ended up using the Neutron 3 on this sample. All you need is sampler and delay and Ableton. I'll put the link for the download in the description box. Anyway, I thought I'd give you this tip to get you a little closer to that vintage sound. See you in the next video.